And for the first time this football season, we're joined by Doug Pelfrey. Nice to see you again,
yes,
pal.
Good to see you.
Take our poll question. Would you MVP of today's game? Is it AJ, Andy, Mike Nugent with the 5 field goals? I know you might lean towards Mike given your past, so to speak. And then, of course, there's Wallace Gilberry, who had the tremendous final drive with the 2 sacks or a sack and a half on Flacco.
Right. Obviously, they all 4 played well, and I think that's what's exciting about this team right now is we've got several guys that are playmakers, and they all played well. Obviously, Gilberry had the big sack there at the end, and Nugent with the 5 field goals. But to me, it is Andy Dalton. You know, he threw for over 300 yards, and to me, it was exciting to see this offense looked exactly like I think it should have last year. I think if Tyler Eifert could have stayed healthy, I think that would have helped as well. But you know, Andy was definitely strong today.
Well, you know what he did in a tough situation, a tough setting, and when the game got tight, he avoided the big turnover. That's something Andy hasn't always done in a big spot. He did that today, so to make him the MVP is certainly very reasonable. You mentioned the injuries. They did not come out of this thing unscathed. Vontaze Burfict concussion. We saw the dislocated elbow for Tyler Eifert. There were some other injuries as well, some of them significant. Just all part of the game. I guess going forward, though, concerning?
You know, it is concerning, but, you know, it's football. Anybody that plays real football, they realize that their injuries is part of the game. The NFL, that's what's so tough. And, you know, everybody wants to, you know, how many wins are they going to get this year? That's the #1 question. You know, there's so many things that can happen. I mean, you saw what happened with Berk. When he went down, the defense was an entirely different defense. They were on their heels more than they were, the first half. When you look at Andy Dalton, as much as people want to get on him about making the big turnovers, not winning the playoffs, he's the key to this team. You know, I think obviously Hugh Jackson's really opening it up and spreading out the offense, but it comes down to players making plays, and the guys got to be on the field to make the plays. So it's definitely concerning, but you know, definitely you know, come out unscathed, or not, we didn't come out unscathed, but you know, we got us 1-0, and they'll get healthy and come back next week.
That is the bottom line, a road divisional win. Size up Paul Gunther for me, his first game as a defensive coordinator in the regular season, calling the plays. Thoughts on Paul's performance today? You
know, I thought he did good. I was a little disappointed, obviously, when Berk went down.
It's a different game.
It's a whole it's what you've prepared for, and you know, I thought he did well. You know, I think that there is a lot more on him. I think Hugh Jackson came out of it looking a lot better, just because the offense was so strong in the first half. But you know, I thought it was a good, solid performance. The defense, you know, we made the stops there at the end when we had to. You know, and that's what I think what you see is the heart of the team. You see the grit when you know, you get punched in the mouth, and they took the lead 16-15 on us, and not only did they not let them get the 2-point conversion, that was big, but then, you know, when they came down that last drive, and, you know, they let them get down the field, but they ultimately made the stops.
Yeah, Reggie Nelson came up with the sack late. Wallace Gilberry, as we mentioned, had a couple as well on that final Baltimore possession. Red zone efficiency last year was a strength of this team, a huge factor in their winning 11 ball games in the AFC North Division. They were not as effective today. Is that a point of concern, or is it those first game things that will be ironed out as the season progresses? Offense is a timing thing. And look, it's not a different offense, but it is a different coordinator, so it takes some time.
Right. To me, there's 3 key things. I think you look at, one, it was the first game of the year. You know, I think you always, you know, as much as you want to play against the other guys on your team, when it comes down to it, you've got to, you know, you got to produce, and you got to go X's and O's, and they first got their first, I guess, one today with everybody out there. 2, you're playing in Baltimore. I mean, it's so hard to score against Baltimore. They got such a good defense. And then, you know, at the end of the day, they had a really good defense. So, I mean, you're playing, you know, on the road, you're playing first game of the year, and you're playing Baltimore. I think all 3 were factors, but they're going to be fine. I mean, they're going to still score points. I mean, I was excited about so many things on offense that I think we're going to be strong this year.
Clearly, Baltimore missed Ray Rice. Would you agree with that assessment today? Yeah.
Right, without a doubt. I mean, they missed him. I think obviously we missed Eifert most of the game. We missed Vontaze Burfict. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we came in and we played better than they did, you know, in a hostile environment. It's something we hadn't done in 3 years, and, you know, to get a win in Baltimore it's great. They've got the band, they've got the cheerleaders. It's you know, it's almost like a college atmosphere, and you go in there and you play against these guys, and the fans are excited, and it is a hostile environment. So it's a lot of fun to come out there with a win, and it's one that, you know, as much as I think this team's going to finish 11-5, I really wasn't sure how this one would go this week. So I'm glad to get the win.
All right, so you gave us your prediction for the season,
sure.
11-5. You stole my thunder on the next question, but that's okay. I'll ask you for a prediction on the Falcons game next week, the home opener, Atlanta looked very, very good offensively today in a 37-34 win over a very good Saints team.
I like us, and you'll see most weeks I like us pretty much any game because I think we're going to, like I said, we're going to have 11 wins. There's going to be tough games throughout the year, but Atlanta is one I think we should win. Obviously, if we're playing without Berk, it's going to make it tough, but with his concussion test, hopefully he comes back before next week. Obviously it hurts with Eifert being out, but we have so many weapons on offense. I think playing at home, I think our crowd's going to come out fired up, and it's going to help our team. And I know Marvin says he likes playing at home, so he gets that wish, and I think we come out with a win.
The season has begun. Doug Pelfrey is here. Thanks so much.
Right.
We'll see you again next week.
Right, thanks.